15 Stoic lessons on how to deal with disrespect. Disrespect is a universal problem that each of us has faced at least once in our lives. It often makes us feel agitated or upset. The Stoics found a solution to this problem, so in today's video, we will look at 15 Stoic lessons that will help you deal with disrespect. Lesson number 1. Remain calm and do not retaliate. When someone insults, disregards, or provokes you, it is tempting to get angry and retaliate, but retaliating will only make the situation worse. Take a deep breath and pause when you feel yourself getting angry after being disrespected. Count slowly to 10 and press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. This technique will help calm your nervous system quickly. Remember that reacting aggressively, even if the impulse seems justified, usually makes the situation worse in the long run. It is better to pull yourself together first before reacting, if at all, if necessary. Also, refrain from retaliating in the most crucial moment, and do not retaliate later when emotions have cooled. Trying to get even by passive-aggressively harming the other person in return continues the cycle of disrespect. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best response is not to be like the offender. Keep your principles and treat others with dignity. Your example can help elevate the situation. With patience and self-discipline, remain calm when faced with disrespect. This balanced force often diffuses and transforms volatile situations better than reactive anger. Lesson number 2. Consider the source. As Seneca said, "He who takes offense when offense is not intended is a fool, but he who takes offense when offense is intended is also a fool, for the wise man does not heed the offense." When someone insults or belittles you, pause to consider before reacting whether their behavior is a reflection of their own pain, insecurity, or ignorance, rather than an accurate judgment of you. Do they have unresolved issues that are distorting their response? In scenarios like customer service, recognize disrespectful behavior often stems from stress, not from you having anything to do with it. Don't take fleeting interactions personally. Empathy for their suffering will help you forget the offense. In a broader sense, consider that people's perceptions and assumptions usually say more about themselves than about external reality or other people. Our subjective judgments are shaped by our prejudices and past experiences. What people attack in you often reflects what they attack in themselves. Their disrespect does not necessarily mean that you lack worth. Maintain an inner faith in your worth, no matter how others behave. Let insults roll off your back, maintaining unshakable dignity and self-knowledge. The wise do not take insults personally. Lesson number 3. Be the bigger person. When you are insulted or mistreated, pause before reacting negatively. View it as a test of your principles and resilience. Find the wisdom and strength to rise above the desire for revenge. Respond with calm assertiveness, not aggression. You can set clear boundaries and protect yourself without resorting to insults or meanness in response. Make reasonable requests for behavior change, but do not demand or command. If disrespectful behavior continues, know that you need to leave the situation and the relationship temporarily or permanently, but do so honestly, not with an explosive outburst or passive-aggressive parting shots. Maintaining composure and respect when you are provoked changes not only the conflict, but your character. Every difficult interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate the principles of understanding, patience, and courage. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you bear trials with a calm soul, misfortune loses its force and burden, disrespect loses its power to disturb you. When you meet it with virtue, you set an inspiring example." If you found this content useful, please feel free to share it with your friends and family. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more exciting and educational videos in the future. Lesson number 4. Focus on what you can control. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. When you are insulted or mistreated, don't waste your energy trying to change the other person or ruminating about the situation. You can't dictate your attitude or behavior, but you can have complete control over your response. Ask yourself constructive questions, e.g., how can I handle this with composure and ethics? What can I learn from this about myself and my principles? What is the most honorable way to move forward? Channel your power into your available sphere of influence by staying true to your values, acting with integrity, calmly standing up for fair treatment when possible, and controlling the messages you tell yourself. Of course, seek to improve circumstances by reasonable action if possible, but without attachment to control over uncontrollable things, such as other people's behavior. Peace comes when you focus only on what is within your power. Disrespect may be inevitable at times, but you can always choose to respond to it with wisdom and principles, or to respond with anxiety and blindness. Your control begins within. Lesson number 5, accept that you cannot please everyone. No matter how kind, capable, or wise you are, some people will inevitably disrespect you or dislike you. It is not in your control. Take a close look at the reasons why someone disrespects you. Their behavior may be due to completely different values, worldviews, and experiences than anything that concerns you personally. Remind yourself that people are entitled to their own preferences and opinions, even if they differ from your own. Don't take differences in taste as a personal affront. There are countless factors beyond your control. Of course, reflect on the feedback to see if you have room to improve. But not all criticism is fair or accurate. Figure out what reflects the critic's internal problems and what reflects your own shortcomings. As Buddha taught, some will hate you, others will love you. It is not in your power. Do your best to treat everyone kindly, but accept that not everyone will like you. Reconcile yourself to this inevitability. Your value does not depend on how much you please the whole world. Remain internally balanced by following your conscience. Skillfully manage your emotions when you are not loved, but do not expect universal approval. It cannot be forced. Lesson number 6. Reflect on whether criticism has validity. The Stoics know that we all have flaws and room for growth. Consider even disrespectful feedback thoughtfully. When someone attacks you or ridicules some aspect of your character, don't react reflexively. Pause and analyze the feedback rationally after the emotion has passed. Ask yourself, could this criticism highlight a true weakness in me? Even if the criticism is harsh, evaluate its usefulness. Is there room for improvement or strengths to cultivate in relation to the weaknesses they point out? Conduct an honest self-examination before rejecting criticism. Of course, not all feedback is accurate or worthy of integration. Use discernment to determine what comes from their own problems and what comes from your own genuine deficiencies. Consider the wisdom and motives of their sources before fully accepting their criticism. Thank those who give constructive feedback, even if it hurts. Even in hurtful remarks, there is room for growth if you seek the lesson with humility. Our enemies often point out weaknesses that friends gloss over in order to be kind. Stoics know that we are all imperfect and can improve every day. Even disrespect can learn wisdom if you listen to it. Treat feedback with rational discernment, rather than dismissing criticism as simply unfair. Lesson number 7. Remember that we all make mistakes. Feelings of anger and a desire for revenge are natural when you have been insulted or mistreated. But holding a grudge is rarely helpful in the long run. It energetically binds you to the person who has wronged you. Ask yourself, does a minor slight that has a real reason deserve your continued worry and desire for revenge? Wouldn't it be better to simply forgive the inept behavior that was not deeply malicious and move on? As Marcus Aurelius said, the best response is not to imitate the offender, but to wish him well. Forgiveness demonstrates courage and integrity. Of course, some disrespects cross the line and require accountability or removal from your life. Use wisdom to distinguish unhealthy patterns of behavior that require setting boundaries from simple misunderstandings that justify kindness. But in petty disputes, a short memory often serves happiness. As Epictetus said, we must control our anger and keep it within narrow bounds, lest it become our master. Avoid escalating conflicts. Self-respecting and wise people know that all people sometimes speak or act ineptly, but kindness, patience, and forgiveness heal spats. Renew your spirit by letting go of small grudges. Lesson number 8. Surround yourself with respectful, supportive people. Take a hard look at your relationships in your social circles. Are some people behaving in a dismissive or belittling manner toward you? They do not appreciate your worth. Consider limiting your contact with those who bring out the worst in you. Even if it is not possible to completely disconnect, such as with difficult family members, try to minimize the time you spend together. If possible, interact only for short periods of time and in controlled settings. Manage your exposure. Fill your life with those who treat you with basic decency, encouraging your growth, those who align with your values, who go the extra mile for you. Good company lifts your entire being. Of course, remember to have compassion even for toxic people, but conserve your energy too. Relationships should be empowering for both parties, not draining for one. You teach others how to treat you by what you tolerate. Surround yourself with those who see your light, not cast a shadow on it. Life opens up exponentially when you allow some connections to fall away, to make room for a fulfilling relationship that is in alignment with your higher self. Lesson number 9. Don't gossip or complain about disrespect. Voicing often causes you to dwell on the negative and gives the situation more power over you. Of course, share disrespectful incidents with loved ones who will provide you with healthy support and help you see the future. But avoid endlessly harping on it to anyone who will listen. This reinforces the negativity. When you are tempted to gossip or complain, pause first. Consider whether this is truly contributing to your growth, or is it simply spreading toxicity? There are often better uses of your time and energy. Voicing can easily become a bad habit if it is not controlled. But as Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Excessive complaining reinforces resentment. Instead, shift your focus to constructive actions. Look for lessons in difficulties, rather than simply talking about grief. Neutrally evaluate experiences as an opportunity to demonstrate such virtues in communication as forgiveness, courage, and patience. Avoid words that inflate the significance of disrespect. Beware of confirmation bias when sympathizing with those who only agree with your point of view. Look at the bigger picture. Airing grievances may release emotions in the short term, but will keep you stuck in a victim position. Be philosophical about difficulties within yourself, rather than reinforcing the negativity. Lesson number 10. Keep an emotional distance from those who mistreat you. When someone insults you, realize that it says more about their problems and character than it does about your worth as a person. Their opinions come from their subjective point of view, not from some absolute truth. Don't take their attacks personally. Keep an inner faith in your own worth and principles, regardless of others. Their disrespect does not actually diminish your worth. Stay grounded in self-knowledge, rather than seeking their validation. Of course, no one likes to be attacked, but the consequences to your spirit are within your power to cope. As Marcus Aurelius advised, choose not to be harmed and you will feel no harm. Feel no harm and you will not be harmed. Do not allow the faults of others to become your own by allowing their words to penetrate your perception of yourself. You are in complete control of your dignity and inner world. External factors cannot penetrate your mind and heart without your consent. Keep your spirit high, inaccessible to unfounded criticism. Lesson number 11. Maintain your integrity and value. When you are insulted or mistreated, it is tempting to retaliate by throwing in your principles and perhaps putting them down, damaging their reputation, or even humiliating yourself in order to gain approval. But such reactive ploys only further degrade your value. Instead of playing their game, stand firm. Continue to demonstrate kindness, understanding, and fairness, even if the other person does not reciprocate during an unfortunate conflict. Don't let their behavior drag you down. As Epictetus said, dare to call upon God and say, "Use me in the future as you see fit. I am of the same mind. I am one with you for the future as you wish. I am of the same opinion. I am one with you. I do not give up anything that seems good to you." Believe in your higher purpose. Of course, be willing to analyze your behavior to see if you have room for improvement, but do not give up your core principles or allow unethical behavior. Compromise on superficial issues, but not in your soul. By remaining true to your wisdom and conscience, you earn self-respect and integrity. They will become your reliable anchor in any turbulent conflict. Rational resolution of disputes shows true strength and maturity. Lesson number 12. Be polite and professional, but stand up for yourself when necessary. Be polite and show basic respect to those who mistreat you. Keep up with the times, but don't let harmful behavior go unpunished in the name of peace. Passivity backfires. When someone disrespects you, first politely say, "Please don't talk to me like that," or "Those comments were hurtful and unfounded." Give them a chance to realize and adjust their behavior. Assume good intentions from the start. Be firm and fair in setting boundaries. Of course, immediately disengage from any interaction that becomes verbal or physical. Don't stand idly by for the sake of etiquette. But even in this case, it is better to separate, preserving your authority and principles. Find strength in the embodiment of the main dignity for yourself and all people. Through principled courage and the highest mutual care, many conflicts can be transformed. Lesson number 13. Realize that you cannot force others to respect you. When you are disrespected, it is tempting to explode or to acquiesce, trying to force respect through intimidation or pandering. But these strategies further undermine your sense of self-worth. True respect cannot be forced. Realize that other people's choice to be polite or not ultimately stems from their own judgment and inner state. Your attempts to control their behavior from the outside will only lead to frustration and a loss of personal power. Instead, focus on self-respect by upholding your own standards of integrity, no matter what others do. Lead by example, by demonstrating principled, rational responses that speak for themselves. As Gandhi said, "I cannot teach you violence, because I do not believe in it. I can only teach you not to bow your heads to anyone, even at the cost of your life." Stand tall. When you remain calm and ethical despite mistreatment, you earn self-respect through courage and virtue. Your inherent dignity shines brightly enough to inspire others to do the same, if conditions allow. Cultivate it in yourself first. Lesson number 14. Focus on the positive. When you are insulted or mistreated, it is easy to feel sorry for yourself and dwell on the negative. But dwelling on the victim mentality creates more unhappiness, not resolution. Balance this with gratitude. Make a list of your positive qualities and valuable contributions. Think of all the people in your life who love, respect, and support you. Review your accomplishments and capabilities. Consider the positive qualities of the disrespectful person too. Chances are, his or her shortcomings coexist with good intentions and strengths in areas you are unaware of. Consider your fundamental human dignity. Accept that you have gifts to offer and are worthy of respect simply for who you are, but let go of the attachment to receiving it from everyone. Peace comes from within, not from the need for validation. Focusing on the light in times of darkness gives perspective and protects against distorted thinking. Be proud of your strengths, but also have compassion for those who cannot fully appreciate them, at least for now. As Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me, but what I chose to become." Your circumstances do not determine your worth. Shine with hope. Lesson number 15. Look at life's ups and downs from a distance. If you are caught up in a conflict or mistreated, remember how you overcame similar challenges in the past, even if they seemed devastating at the time. You are stronger than you think. This too shall pass. View difficult situations as opportunities to demonstrate the principles of understanding, fortitude, and grace under fire. How you respond defines you more than what happens. Endure nobly, like the greats you admire. Think how insignificant an occasional slight will seem to you 10 years from now. Don't overstate the significance of any one of all the events that shape your life. Keep perspective. Sure, take reasonable steps to establish healthy boundaries and practice fairness, but do so patiently with an eye on the big picture. Temporary conflicts should not distract you from your higher goals. Approach trials with the wisdom of a person who has overcome great trials. If you feel that any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. We welcome Stoic discussions, as they are what great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca recommended. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic path. Thank you for watching.